Patents, trademarks, copyrights are kind of all under the umbrella of intellectual property. So patents are going to go towards an invention, something that does something. It has a functionality, a utility, and that can be software, hardware, electronics, anything of that nature. Anything that's an invention that does something, that's a patent. Trademarks are going to be more on the brand. So if you think of name of a company, name of a business, a catchphrase, a logo, anything of that nature, anything that's really to do with branding, it typically falls under trademarks. If you go to copyrights, that's something more really on the creative side. So if you write a book, you do a video, you do a podcast, you do a television show, a movie, a sculpture, a painting, anything of that nature, where it's more on that creative side, a photo, photo or anything else, that's what's going to fall under copyrights. And so when you look at intellectual property, it kind of encompasses patents for inventions, trademarks for brands, copyrights for creatives, and that.
What is the common mistake that you see startups making when it comes to IP?
Yeah, probably the biggest mistake, and it's one that I definitely get, is that they wait too long to figure out what IP they need, in the sense that most of the time as a startup or a small business, you have more things to spend money on than money to spend. And so you're always kind of trying to delay things, cut corners, do it yourself or anything else. And so a lot of times, startups and that are worried about, if I go into an attorney, it's going to be expensive. I may not even need it, or I need to hold off. And so if you're to do a patent as an example and take that, there's a year deadline within which, if you put anything out into public, so you put your invention on a website, you go to a trade show, you do a presentation, you start selling it, whatever it is, you have a year from which you can file a patent on it. If you don't, then you've basically just lost the rights to it, and you've donated to the public domain. Anybody can do it. And so that's one where, oftentimes startups, they'll come into my office and say, okay, we've been doing this for a couple of years. We finally got a bit of traction. We saved up. We'd like to get a patent on it. And then it's the uncomfortable conversation saying, that's great that you have you have a great business. You have a great product. Unfortunately, I can't help you because you miss a year window. And there's overlaps with that with trademarks and copyrights and other things, but oftentimes they wait too long because they don't know their deadlines or don't know that there are things that they should be doing now. And so my best advice on that is to at least meet with an attorney, get a strategy, get a plan. Even if you can't get started for another 6 months, a year, 2 years, whenever that is, at least know your deadlines, at least get a strategy and a plan in place so that as those come along, what you should be anticipating, what you'd be looking at.